So when I was in hospital, I met a young woman who was maybe 22, 23, who had fresh double mastectomy scars, fairly fresh double mastectomy scars, um, who was going by like he, him pronouns, but was non-binary, but was whatever. And yeah, I'll never forget her. She was very sweet. Uh, she was very messed up. We all were. That's why we were in the hospital together. But she was psychotic to the point that she didn't kind of know what month it was, what year it was, didn't know where she was. At one stage, she was banging on one of the other residents' doors because she was having some weird flashback and thought that he was in assaulting her sister, and just like flipped out. So, and that's from like afterwards we were talking and he had said that that's why she was like banging on his door. But I just remember thinking, how did this woman get approved for any sort of double mastectomy? How was that healthcare? How did that help her? It didn't prevent her being hospitalized within a year after having a double mastectomy. And I just thought, in my short time in the hospital, to be able to analyze this young woman and think, wow, there's something traumatic has happened to you that you are, you know, that you're trying to macho up or something, or try to, stick up or fend for your sister in some way. I don't know. I think about her every so often, and I wonder how she's doing, and I hope she's doing well, because we had a moment where, like, all of our kind of our rooms were like private, and we had our own shower and our own toilet in it. And I remember kind of forgetting to lock my door or something, or I don't think I was able to lock my door. Was the point? Nobody was able to lock their doors, and she came in while I was in the middle of getting changed, and I was like, "Hey." Later on in the evening, it was like, without apologizing, she tried to apologize, and she kind of sneakily opened my door, and she left like a drink, or she left something like in the corner of my door, like, while I was kind of like, I was like, "Are you okay?" You know what I mean? And she's like, "Sorry, sorry, sorry." So, a very sweet character under all the, you know, under all what she had subjected herself to. But I just thought, there's so many people, like, she's in a deep psychosis, and they're all calling her by a male name, and they're all like calling her he and everything. And you just think, if you don't have like a tenuous grasp of reality, and people are calling you by the name that you have created in this kind of fake reality for yourself, it just must make you even worse, even less grounded, which she clearly wasn't okay when we were there. I don't know whether she was under the influence of any drugs or anything. Um, but she was very yeah, she was very sweet. But just this kind of, I just remember sitting with her, and like, she had shown us, I can't remember how it kind of came up. Nobody else kind of knew that she was female, but you know what I mean. Uh, I don't think many other people kind of pay attention, if, but it really like analyze people and can see them, and I was just like, this poor woman. And it came up when we were all kind of sitting around in a circle, and she ended up like lifting her top and showing the scars or whatever. And I was like, you're not like a man though. And she was like, no, I know, like, I just prefer, and I'm non-binary. And I was like, do you have a girlfriend? And she was like, yeah. And I was just like, yeah, you fucking tick all the fucking boxes, like, I know all this already. And I was kind of like, I can't believe somebody like did this to you, you know what I mean? I can't believe somebody, you know, did that to you, cut off your breast. And she was like, I chose it myself. or I did it to myself, is what she said. And I said, no. I said, a lot of doctors had to sign off on what was done to you. I remember being like, I don't remember my exact words, like, because I'm trying to speak in Dutch as well to people. But I remember saying, like, no, like, you didn't do that to yourself. Doctors did that to you. And, you don't know whether, I always wonder if I had an impact on this person. I feel okay saying her name because it's a first name and it could be anybody. But I remember the first time we met each other, I was trying to like grasp where she kind of was. I knew kind of why she was there. I had a very funny conversation with her as well of, her plan to like escape this place. And she's like, I can get a car. Like I can get somebody to get in a car. I was just like, listen, I've been here now, accept where you are and just accept it. But that was like the first time when we had kind of spoken to each other. But I remember her writing very clearly on a piece of paper, like I remember her writing her date of birth. And this is the thing, people think when you're kind of psychotic, you're really erratic about everything. But when you're focused on something, you're really like cautiously focused on something. I can't explain it, but you see it a lot with people who are writing things. This strange kind of focus. And so she was strangely focused on trying to tell me her name. And she was like, I think I used to be Helena, but I'm David now. So I think I used to be Helena, but I'm David now, like David. And everybody was calling her David. Everybody, the staff. And you just think, that's so ridiculous. And I remember like having a fucking flip out because I was like, I'm sick of this fucking system. I'm sick of being in here. Like you all go ahead with, I had there was a lot of different faces, but you're living there for a bit. Like you see the same kind of people. And I remember flipping out and just like, fuck it all, damn it all to hell and everything. And I remember just being really extreme, like with what I was saying. And he was like, listen, if you say that to the wrong people, he was like, I know this is coming from emotion, but he was like, if you say that to the wrong people will think you're just mad. And I was like, oh, kind of like, what do you care? Like, you fucking go along with, and you agree with, trans and people and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, hang on a second. Did you ask me if I agreed with that? And he was like, listen, I have to go with the times. He was like, personally, I'm not on board with it, but professionally, I have to be. Like in that kind of vein. I remember that really real conversation I had with him. And it just kind of made me realize, people are kind of forced to go along with this or else they don't have a job anymore. And people like him, I wish I could remember his name, staff members like him are so fucking important when you're in like a psychiatric facility because they care about people. But it's just when you're given a list of rules and a list of things that you have to abide by, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? How much are you going to rock the boat if your job is at jeopardy? So it's, I just wanted to do like a short video just because I'm remembering this woman again that I came across. And I do think about her often, not too often, but every now and then she pops into my head and I think, man, I hope you're okay. And I hope she's kind of come out of this fog. I hope she's come out of like the psychosis fog. And I hope she comes into reality in her body. I really do. And that's for anybody who's going through the transgender bullshit. But I just wanted to share my personal experiences with you, because I also believe that this madness was something that put me in the hospital as well, because I was like, how can I tell you my reality and you tell me my reality is fake, but you can also go along with somebody else's fake reality. Like, how can one person be suffering from psychosis, but another person is encouraged along the road of psychosis? Like, to me, the medical industrial complex has a very tenuous grasp on what reality is.